David with the Shepherd School, and today I've got a book. It's not really a prepper book, but it is about, being a little different and what makes people successful. Okay, it's called Outliers. It's by a guy named Malcolm Gladwell, who's a pretty popular author. He writes a lot of very, New York Times bestseller list books. But anyway, this book has some interesting theory about what it takes to be successful, that it's not all luck. And he goes and he talks about hockey players, in Canada, and how birth ages contribute. If you look at the stats of all the greatest hockey players in Canada, you see that all their birthdays are in a particular month, or very close to a particular month. He talks about that. He talks about trouble with geniuses. He talks about feuds, Hatfields and McCoys, Harlan, Kentucky, how one particular spot of Kentucky is home to more blood feuds than any other place, and how that mindset is inherited from where these people came from, their heritage, then their new location, and how it contributes. He talks about his life. He talks about Bill Gates. Talks about some interesting things, that, and one of the things is you have to be smart, right? But you don't have to be that smart. You have to be smart enough. If you look at all the Fortune 500 presidents, they all have an IQ above a certain level, but once you're smart enough, having a 140 really doesn't give you a predictor of success any more than having a 110, right? He talks about how it's good to be lucky, but lucky doesn't do anything if you're not prepared, and that to be a world-class expert at anything, it takes about 10,000 hours. That Bill Gates got through luck, through the school that he went to and the parent-teacher relationship, and how they were able to buy programming time on some of the first computers. And so when they started looking for computer programmers, because he was kind of lucked out, I guess, by where he was born and the location and the time he was in, how he got the 10,000 hours of computer programming, when everyone else only had 10 hours of computer programming. And so he was able to leverage that to success. Talks about how, if you look at the richest industrialists in America, they all were born in a certain year. Like all the .com guys, they're all born in a certain year, because if you're, when there's a paradigm shift in the world, if you're too old, you're too established. If you work for IBM, when Apple came about, you look at them as, who are they? Nothing. And so you don't quit your mid-level job at IBM to go work at Apple and have the success. But if you're too young, right, you can't jump in. So you have to be young enough to be flexibly minded, with the right background, the right expertise. Very interesting book. And I think preppers and DIYers, anybody that might be considered a little deviant, a little different, they might look at this book, and it gives you a little bit of extra, it's okay to be me, which is why I like that book. So anyway, I'd recommend it, even though it's not a prepper book. And there you go. And until next time, you can always catch us online at prepperbookshelf.com.